What's up, YouTube? When was the last time you did your homework? It hadn't really been like a super long time for me, but I've done some investigating. I've done some looking into it. So I'm going to go through a slew of shit today. And I guess just going to continue like I have been. First of all, let's go through symbolisms. Now, I'm only going to give you about 3 because most every single one of these you're going to find in most every movie, most every cartoon, most every TV show. And then there's others. There is others. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, let me see if I can do add another one of these here. And this one here, these are just a quick sketch, so don't quote me on it 100%, right? Okay, fair enough. So we're going to go through these today. Okay? Get a good look at them. Get a good look at them. One of them means little girl. One of them means little boy. And then you got the Eye of Horus and the Freemason, the 33rd degree Freemason. And pretty much every single one of those, almost all of them, you're going to find in most every single movie. Not all of them you will. No. That's a factual. You won't find every single one of them in a movie. And no, you're not going to find one of those symbols in every single movie, but it'll be damn close. In fact, you can count fewer of those movies that do not have one of those symbols than you can movies that do. And I don't mean by like 1 or 2, I mean like by the hundreds. You just won't find hardly any movies that don't have that shit in there. So, so there's that for you. I mean, you can do your own fucking research or your investigating or schooling, your education, however you want to consider it. But that's a little bit of info there, okay? And once again, when I was told this shit about a year ago, I didn't believe any of it. I didn't fucking think about it. I didn't believe any of it. I mean, there were some conspiracies out there that I were like, I do believe this one, I believe this one, and I could see this one, and I've always felt in my heart this, I've always felt in my heart this, and I've always felt in my heart this, and this, you know. And nowadays, I'm kind of like, my heart was right about that, my heart was right about that. My mind was in the correct direction of this, I just didn't really give it that final fucking nudge. So yeah, so 2 of these symbols is for little girl and little boy. 2 of them means both have a separate meaning, but there's one that also means boy, girl, little boy, little girl, and then there's another one that I think pretty much means no preference. And these are known FBI symbols. If you look the shit up, you can find the shit in there, okay? This is common, not common sense, but it's information that you can go and fucking look up. So don't take my word for it. Go and look this shit up, okay? This is my understanding. I'm explaining my understanding, or in my opinion, to you. Come on, fact checkers. Fuck with me now. So, You won't find hardly any movies, and it's been since the beginning of time. Go back and look at Shirley Temple, and in fact, I'll go find you some of the videos that I'm talking about, and I'll fucking post them. I'll cut a few clips here and there, and I'll fucking post them on here. You can tell that girl was well fucking manipulated, okay? She didn't know. She just fucking, her fucking, yeah. Shirley Temple was one of the bigger ones that I remember. Let's go back and think about JonBenet Ramsey. You remember that little girl from, I was a kid. What was she? 3-4 years older than I was, something like that. I was a little kid when I heard about that. I thought, I don't know, I might be wrong. Anyway, it was a beauty pageant. Look at all the beauty pageants that are going on nowadays. Except for, it's not beauty pageants for little girls and little boys, it's beauty pageants for little transgenders. Okay? Look at the world, the way that they're sexualizing these fucking children nowadays. Because they for them, everything is backwards. Left means that way, okay, and right means that way. When in reality, it's fucking opposite. That's for them. So if they say they don't worship Satan, you can bet your ass they do. And I'll also show you a couple ways how they've infiltrated that into our politics, our police departments, our state troopers, our hunting and games. I mean, look at all this. Look at all the ways that we've been taxed on everything. You're paying taxes on the money you make to only pay more taxes at the store for the shit you want to buy, or at clothing goods, or a vehicle. You know, auto dealers, or the parts store. You're paying more taxes there, and then when you get married, you get fucking wedding taxed or some shit like that. You pay taxes to go fucking hunting. You pay taxes to go fishing. And that money is not going to relocating or some shit like that. That doesn't cost that fucking much money. Okay? Look at everything else. And then when you die, you get taxed you get taxed again. I mean, goddamn, how many motherfucking times are they going to tax the fuck out of you? I wonder, and I heard this theory somewhere, and I don't really believe, I didn't really believe it then, but now that I think about it, knowing everything else that I do now, or having an understanding of everything that I do now, it's much easier to say, you know what? That makes a lot of fucking sense. It makes a lot of fucking sense. So, go do your research, go do your homework, slap some shit around, and look up any fucking movie you can find with that shit in there. And then you also find any characters online that are covering their eye or wearing any type of hat or clothing where they only show one fucking eye. It doesn't matter. Where they only show one eye or where they're doing this shit. Look up Courtney Cox tweets. Look at Chrissy Teigen tweets. Chrissy Teigen was talking about, you know, Pizzagate. It's part of Pizzagate because they tell little boys and little girls that they're pizza or whatever. And then they fucking believe this shit. And it's embedded so much into their mind that they do fucking believe it. Now they're kind of like, I'm a little fucking pizza, you know? So, Chrissy Teigen was pretty much texting saying, I'm literally going to jail over pizza. Only she didn't literally go to jail over pizza. It's because she was fucking eating children and having molesting them, you know? That's pretty well, I mean, at this point, that's got to be fucking common knowledge. Here's the deal. If you're not awake to these symbols, which they show you in movies all the fucking time, so it's not like you're going to be like, oh my God, yeah, I remember every single movie that I've seen one in. But you're going to think of one or two movies that's like, I do remember that. Yeah. Obelisks, Bibles, for 6,000 years, nobody really knows how fucking old this world is, okay? They're also, it's understood, I understand it, that Greek mythology and shit like that, like Thor and Juggernauts, or I mean, there's just so many of these fucking characters that are, you know, all these sun gods and moon gods and things like all those were actually real, But they made sure they could do anything they could to do away with these so that they could infiltrate this world, this here planet on 3D. This way it'd be a hell of a lot harder for us to move on to the 5D, the spiritual realm, because that's by way of understanding, that's after this 3D port here. So we've got that going for us. So now I would leave. I would understand now with that our Bibles have been manipulated to tell a lie in their favor. So basically, when you think you're worshiping, it doesn't matter which religion. So basically, when you believe that you're worshiping God, you're actually worshiping the devil. They've just made him sound like a god to them. Here's the deal with the devil and with God. God doesn't give you instantaneous results. You pray for this and you're supposed to receive this or whatever. He does not give you instantaneous results. He says, if you believe in me, I will, give this to you or whatever. So he does, but he needs your faith. That's all he asks for is for your faith. The devil says, if you fucking pray to me, I'll give you this shit right now. If you fucking sell me your soul, if I can manipulate you eventually to sell me your fucking soul, I'll give you the shit right now. I don't know. That's what they say. That's the way I understand. I don't really believe too much into that. But now that I think about it, I'm kind of like, yeah, starts to make a lot of sense. Bibles, religions, everything. And then, so here's the deal. Why do we need to rewrite a fucking story in any religion? It doesn't matter what it is. Why do we need to rewrite a story that was written hundreds of thousands of years ago, or hundreds of years ago at that rate, at least 2,000 years ago, of a guy that gave his life on a cross for my sin and for your sins, right? Well, that doesn't make any sense to rewrite the book. In fact, if back then he was being chastised about it, and nobody wrote a book on it, where do we come up with all these theories? I don't buy into the Bible anymore. I don't buy into any fucking Bible. I never really have. Sure, I believe in a higher being, absolutely, and I most definitely believe in some fucking evil ones, but I'm not really sure about these fucking Bible situations here. Now, some people can read verses out of the Bible that they're like, oh, hey, it fits in with today. This river is running red, and this moon came up red, or whatever. It's kind of like, could be a coincidence, could not be. Or if they manipulated the Bible and rewrote it to fit something that is along the lines of their narrative, then yeah, I could see that too. Remember, folks, it's no longer a conspiracy when you start seeing this shit. And I promise, once you start seeing, especially these symbols right here, once you start seeing these, it'll never stop. You'll never stop seeing them. Never ever stop seeing them. And in fact, I'll point out a few things. Okay. Let me see. Owls. They're real big on owls. Real big on owls and real big on stars. Like upside down stars. In fact, you can see those in, I can't remember what other states, but I know there's two in Washington. Okay, there's one right at the peak of Ping Pong Pizza, or Comet Ping Pong. Yeah, so I don't really have a computer to do all this shit, so I'm going to have to do it on my phone, but I'll record some of this shit and I'll post it. You just need to understand that I don't deserve the credit for any of the findings or any of the recordings, and I therefore shouldn't be blamed for any misinformation that's on it. So there's that much. I mean, I'm not here to spread disinformation. I'm here, obviously, in this video to explain my fucking thoughts. And my thoughts have become very fucking, well, I would say clear, but it's ADD. So I'm thinking about driving and while I'm vacuuming the floor. Like, why do those two need to fucking be correlated? Like, why can't a motherfucker just think about vacuuming the floor when I'm vacuuming the floor? Like, I'm going to push the vacuum over here. I'm going to push the vacuum over here. This one time while I was driving, I hit a pothole. And then I just vacuumed the same spot 3 fucking times. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. So, there's that much. Anyway, folks, I'm going to get off here. Rewind this. Look at the fucking video. Look at the pictures. And then go start watching movies. Especially, and I mean especially recently. You're going to find a lot of these fucking videos or a lot of these movies have those symbols in them. And there's a couple more in there that you really need to look for, but you might want to also consider George Guidestones. Read that one. The City of Atlantis. That shit is real. Antarctica. Why is Antarctica one of the biggest underground bases? Cheyenne Mountain's another one. That one has been reported multiple times in different variations or whatever, where I guess some have made it in there or was taken in there or whatever. I don't know. People have physically claimed that they were in there, and when they're trafficked and these children come in there and they're trafficked in there, that boys are separated to one side, girls are separated to the other side, and by the time that they go down that hallway to a certain point, they're never ever seen again. Because reptilians fucking eat us. They eat people. Reptilians, that's another video I need to bring up. I'll do one on, what's her name? Jenna Bush, where she turns into a reptilian. Almost like a chameleon, but her fucking eyes get all wicked. I don't know. I would say maybe it's the camera on some of these situations, but it's just the people. And it's not, I don't know, it's man, it's hard to explain. I could see some CGI doing some shit like that, but why would anybody actually want to do that? Also, what all celebrities wear or have worn an upside down cross? Now tell me again, Satan is not in this world. What?